Do you remember the last time you stood up from a chair and your knee simply cooperated? Without that stiffness in the first few steps, without waiting a second before trusting your weight on your leg, without that feeling that your knee needs time to warm up before it works properly. For many people over 60, this has become routine. The knee wakes up stiff. It gets tight after sitting for a while. It complains on the stairs, complains during a walk, complains when you least expect it. And what do most people do? They accept it. They think it is age. That mobility is something you lose and never get back. But I need to tell you something important today. This stiffness is not just age. In most cases, it is a sign that your knee has lost two essential elements, mobility and strength, and both can be trained. With the right exercises, done the right way, consistently. As a physiotherapist with over 10 years of clinical experience, I use a specific sequence with my patients that transforms how the knee moves and supports itself in daily life. No equipment, simple exercises, done at home. And almost no one talks about this. Today I am going to show you 6 exercises, from number 6 to number 1, the most important of all. The first 3 focus on knee mobility. The last 3 focus on strengthening. Each one prepares your body for the next. Stay until the end, because after the exercises, I will show you a bonus that changes everything. The mistake most people make every day without realizing it, and that keeps the knee stiff and weak even when you are already exercising. Before we start, let me explain something quickly, because once you understand this, each exercise will make a lot more sense. The causes of knee pain can be many, but the knee needs 2 things to function well in daily life: mobility and strength. And the problem is that these 2 things are lost together and need to be regained together. When the knee loses mobility, it stops moving through its full range. The synovial fluid, which is the joint's natural lubricant, stops circulating properly. The cartilage begins to receive nutrition irregularly, and the knee becomes more and more stiff, more sensitive. When the knee loses strength, especially in the quadriceps and glutes, it loses the muscular support that should be protecting the joint. And then what happens? The joint starts to take on a load it should not be taking, in the wrong place, in the wrong way. That is when pain shows up. And the worst part, the 2 problems feed each other. Without mobility, the knee hurts when moving. With pain, the person moves less. Moving less, the muscles weaken. With weak muscles, the knee becomes even more overloaded. It is a cycle, and it only breaks when you treat both at the same time. That is exactly what we are going to do today. First, we open up movement, then we build strength. In that order, for a very clear clinical reason, mobility without strength does not hold. Strength without mobility does not flow. The 2 together are what truly change the knee. Tell me in the comments, how old are you? And does your knee feel more stiff in the morning or after sitting for a while? Now, let us get to what matters. Exercise number 6, heel slide. I start with this exercise for a very simple reason. It does not require intense muscle effort. There is no impact, and it already begins to work knee mobility safely and effectively from the very first movement. To do it, lie on your back on a firm surface. It can be the floor with a mat or a firm bed. Keep both legs extended and your arms relaxed by your sides. Now, slowly bend one knee by sliding your heel toward your glutes, as if you are trying to touch your heel to the back of your thigh. Go as far as is comfortable, without forcing it. Hold for 2 seconds at the closest point, and slide back slowly until your leg is extended again. The secret is in the slowness. It is not a quick back and forth movement. It is a smooth, controlled glide in both directions. The return is just as important as the way in. 2 very common mistakes: lifting your hips off the ground to help your leg get closer. If that happens, reduce the range and keep your hips supported. And holding your breath, breathe continuously throughout the movement. If it feels easy, hold for 3 to 5 seconds at the closest point before returning. If it feels difficult, reduce the range and focus on smooth movement. Start with 10 repetitions on each leg, 1 to 2 sets. Exercise number 5, knee circles. This is one of the simplest and most underrated exercises. It directly stimulates the production of synovial fluid, which is the knee's natural lubricant. It is like you are opening the joint from the inside, preparing it to handle load with much less friction. To do it, stand with your feet together or almost touching. Slightly bend your knees and place your hands on your thighs, just above the kneecap. Do not press directly on the knee bone. Keep your gaze forward and your torso stable. Now, draw slow and controlled circles with your knees, moving them to one side, forward, to the other side, and back to the starting position. The movement comes from the knee, not the hips. Think of making small, precise circles, not big and uncontrolled ones. Do 10 to 15 rotations clockwise. Then reverse to counterclockwise and repeat. The secret is in the speed. The slower you go, the more synovial fluid is stimulated and the more the joint benefits. This is not an exercise to rush. It is an exercise to do with attention. 2 very common mistakes: making the circles too large and moving the hips along. Reduce the range and keep the focus on the knee. And pressing directly on the kneecap with your hands. Your hands stay on the thigh, above the bone. If it feels comfortable, you can gradually increase the size of the circles while maintaining control. If you feel discomfort, reduce the range and keep the movement smooth. 1 to 2 sets in each direction. Exercise number 4, standing knee pendulum. This exercise uses something most people never think about using to mobilize the knee: the weight of your own leg. When you let your leg swing freely, without forcing it, without over-controlling it, gravity does the work. The joint opens naturally, without compression, without impact. To do it, stand next to a sturdy chair or a wall. Place one hand for balance. Shift all your weight onto one leg. This one stays slightly bent, stable on the ground. The other leg stays completely relaxed, loose, without tension. Now, let that leg swing forward and backward like a pendulum, gently, without momentum, without forcing it. The movement starts with a small swing and then gravity takes over. Do not push your leg forward or backward. Let it go as far as it naturally will. Start with small swings. Over time, if your knee allows it, the swings will naturally become a bit larger, without you needing to force anything. The secret is to completely relax the swinging leg. If you are controlling the movement with your muscles, the exercise loses its effect. Think of letting your leg hang like a rope. 2 very common mistakes: tensing the leg that is swinging. If that happens, take a deep breath and consciously relax the muscles. And swinging using hip momentum. The movement comes from the knee, not the hips. Do 20 to 30 swings on each leg, 1 to 2 sets. The 3 mobility exercises are done. Your knee is looser, more lubricated, more prepared. Now it is time to build the strength that will support this mobility. Let us move on to number 3. Exercise number 3, glute bridge. Now we enter the strengthening phase. And I start with this exercise for a very clear reason. The glute is the biggest protector of the knee. When it is weak, the knee takes on a load that does not belong to it. And when the glute works properly, the knee finally stops paying the price on its own. To do it, lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the ground, hip width apart. Arms relaxed by your sides. Before lifting, press your feet into the ground as if you were trying to push the floor away, without letting your feet move. Now, lift your hips slowly until you form a straight line from your shoulders to your hips to your knees. Hold for 2 seconds at the top, squeezing your glutes. Then lower slowly, vertebra by vertebra, with control. The secret is in the descent. Do not let your hips drop. Come down as slowly as you went up. The controlled descent is where the muscle works the most. 2 very common mistakes: lifting too high and arching your lower back. The movement ends when your hips align with your knees and shoulders, not beyond that. And letting your knees collapse inward during the movement. They should stay aligned with your feet the entire time. When this movement becomes easy, progress by placing a mini band just above your knees. Before lifting, gently push your knees outward against the band and maintain that tension throughout the movement. Start with 10 to 12 repetitions, 1 to 2 sets. Exercise number 2, seated knee extension. If the glute is the biggest protector of the knee from the outside, the quadriceps is the biggest protector from the inside. It controls every time you bend and extend your knee, when sitting down, standing up, going down the stairs. When it is weak, the knee loses stability and starts taking on load in an uncontrolled way. To do it, sit on a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the ground and your torso upright. Choose one leg to start. Now, slowly extend your knee by lifting your foot until your leg is straight, or as far as is comfortable without pain. Hold for 2 seconds at the top. Then lower it slowly, with control, without letting your leg drop. The secret lies in 2 things at the same time: keeping your thigh active throughout the entire movement, as if you are pushing your knee downward while lifting your foot, and controlling the descent. The slow descent is where the quadriceps works the most and gains the most strength. 2 very common mistakes: lifting your thigh off the chair to help the leg rise. If that happens, reduce the range and keep your thigh supported. And letting the leg drop on the way down. The return movement must be just as controlled as the lift. If it feels easy, add a 3 to 5 second pause at the top before lowering. If you want to progress further, you can add a light ankle weight, but only when the movement is fully controlled and pain-free. Respect your knee's limit. You do not need to fully extend if you feel discomfort. Use a comfortable range and increase it gradually. Start with 10 to 12 repetitions on each leg. 1 to 2 sets. Exercise number 1, sit to stand eccentric. I saved this for last for a very clear reason. It is the most powerful on the list, but it only works well when your body is already prepared. And now it is. Let me explain why this exercise is so special. There is a type of muscle contraction called eccentric. It is when the muscle works while lengthening, while slowing down a movement. And science is very clear about this. Eccentric work is one of the most effective stimuli for strengthening the quadriceps and protecting the knee. It is widely used in the rehabilitation of knee pain, osteoarthritis, and tendinopathy. But it rarely shows up in videos because it looks too simple to be that effective, and that is exactly the trap. It looks simple, but when done with control, it transforms the knee. To do it, use a sturdy and stable chair. If possible, place the chair against a wall so it does not slide. Sit at the front edge of the seat with your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. To stand up, lean your torso slightly forward as if your nose is moving toward your knees. This distributes the weight better and reduces direct load on the knee. Now push the ground with your feet and stand up slowly until you are fully upright. Now comes the most important part: the descent. Slowly, very slowly, bend your knees and push your hips back as if you are sitting down in slow motion. Count 4 to 5 seconds on the way down. When you are about to touch the seat, pause for half a second, and only then sit and relax. The descent is the exercise, not the ascent. The slower and more controlled the descent, the more the quadriceps and glutes work, the more your knee learns to handle load the right way, the more protection you build for the joint. The main technical key: during the descent, think about 3 things at the same time: hips back, knees aligned with your feet, and torso slightly leaned forward. These 3 together distribute the load evenly between the quadriceps, glutes, and knee. If it feels difficult, use a cushion on the chair to make it higher so you can control the descent more easily. 2 very common mistakes: dropping into the chair on the way down. If that happens, use your hands on your thighs or on the chair arms to help control it. And standing up with momentum, throwing your body forward. The movement should be controlled in both directions. If it feels difficult, start by using your hands for support and gradually reduce that support as you gain control. If it feels easy, increase the descent time to 6 to 8 seconds or add a 2-second pause just before touching the seat. That suspended moment is where the muscle works the most. Start with 6 to 8 repetitions, 1 to 2 sets, 3 times per week on alternate days. Now think about real life. How many times a day do you sit down and stand up? From the bed, the couch, the dining chair, the toilet. Dozens of times. And every time you do this movement without control, dropping into the chair, using momentum to stand, your knee absorbs an impact it should not be absorbing. This exercise trains exactly that movement. And when you learn to do it with control, every time you sit and stand during your day becomes an exercise without you even realizing it. And remember our agreement. Mild muscle discomfort can happen. Sharp knee pain should not. Now let me show you how to fit all of this into your week. In the first week, do this sequence 3 times on alternate days. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Whatever works best for your routine. The focus here is to learn each movement and perform everything with control. No rush, no forcing. In the second week, keep the same frequency, but try a small progression in each exercise. Hold longer at the top, go down more slowly, or add the resistance band to the strengthening exercises if it feels easy. How will you know it is working? You will start to notice small changes in your daily life. Your knee wakes up less stiff. You stand up from a chair with less effort. You feel more confident when walking and climbing stairs. No miracle, real, consistent progress. And remember, consistency matters more than intensity. Doing it 3 times a week for a month is infinitely better than doing it every day for 1 week and then stopping. Now for the bonus I promised at the beginning. And this one had to come at the end because many people do not associate these 2 habits with knee pain, but they should. The first is sitting for too long without moving. Think about it. Computer, television, meals, car. Add it all up, and for many people over 60, that is 8 to 9 hours a day sitting still. And what happens to the knee during all that time? The synovial fluid, that natural joint lubricant, stops circulating. The cartilage dries out, the muscles shorten. And when you finally stand up, the knee is stiff, poorly nourished, and unprepared. That painful stiffness in the first few steps, that is your knee asking for help. The solution is simple. Every 45 to 60 minutes, stand up and walk for 1 to 2 minutes, even if it is just to the kitchen and back. The second habit seems even more harmless, sitting with your legs crossed. Almost everyone does it. But when you cross your legs, the top knee is pushed inward, increasing pressure on the cartilage in a silent way. It does not hurt in the moment, but it is hours a day, every day, inflaming a joint you are trying to take care of. Keeping your feet on the ground and your knees aligned with your hips while sitting already removes this unnecessary stress. Small adjustments. But when it comes to the knee, these day-to-day details make all the difference. Before we finish, an important note. If your pain is very intense, is getting worse over time, or comes with significant swelling, locking, or a feeling of instability, the best option is to consult a doctor or physiotherapist for an individualized evaluation. Here I am showing you safe paths, but some cases require a more specific analysis. And if you want to go beyond what we covered today, I left 2 options in the pinned comment that can help you on this journey. The first is a complete exercise program, organized step by step, for you to follow at home at your own pace. The second is a natural supplement developed specifically for joint health and to help reduce inflammation. Take a look at the pinned comment. If this video helped you, tell me in the comments, what has knee pain already stopped you from doing? And what do you really want to get back to doing? It could be a walk, a trip, playing with your grandchildren, climbing stairs without fear. I read everything. And knowing this helps me bring more useful videos for you. If you want to keep taking care of your knee with simple, safe exercises designed for real life after 60, subscribe to the channel. Every week, there is new content just like this. And in the next video, I will show you the best exercises for hip pain after 60. Because when the hip is strong, the knee is grateful. See you there.